Origo News.
Climate change increases disasters, but fatalities remain low. The planet's temperature continues to rise, unleashing severe weather events while human vulnerability remains unpredictable. These increasingly violent storms obscure the full extent of the devastation, leaving behind deep scars in their wake. The Earth, in a relentless heatwave, the continuing surge in fossil fuel consumption highlights a persistent trend, with no sign of the planet cooling off anytime soon. This rising global temperature is unleashing a cascade of disastrous weather events, scorching summers blending into unrelenting heat, rivers overflowing with unprecedented force, storms growing to monstrous proportions, and landscapes consumed by unyielding fires and extreme droughts. While the threat of deadly weather events continues to loom, the mortality rates tell a more complex story, revealing fewer deaths compared to the past. Despite the escalating dangers, the number of fatalities linked to nature's fury has decreased significantly over recent decades. Heatwaves have become increasingly lethal, with populations in lower-income countries facing higher risks due to limited resources and infrastructure. Efforts to improve resilience and bolster essential systems have helped to reduce the human toll of certain disasters. A report by AFP utilizing data from the MDAT database, an exhaustive record of disaster impacts compiled by the Center for Research on the Epidemiology of Disasters in Belgium, reveals a staggering figure of nearly 3 million lives lost due to storms, heatwaves, and floods between 1970 and 2025. Over a 10-year period, according to Marina Romanello, Executive Director of the Lancet Countdown Climate and Health Monitoring Initiative, the decline in fatalities is not due to reduced risks, but rather to improved capabilities to cope with extreme events. Heatwaves, often referred to as silent killers, have become a growing threat, with their death toll often not fully realized until months or even years later. The elderly and those with pre-existing health conditions are particularly vulnerable to the extreme heat. Last year, nearly half of the world was engulfed in an unrelenting summer, enduring prolonged periods of scorching heat. The number of days exceeding the critical 30-12 threshold doubled the usual frequency, according to data from Europe's climate monitoring systems. This relentless rise in temperature, meticulously documented by Theodore Keeping of Imperial College London, is directly linked to increased mortality. Scientific models have shown a clear connection between rising temperatures and higher death tolls, with climate change being a significant factor in the growing number of heat-related fatalities. In 2022, a brutal heatwave claimed the lives of nearly 62,000 people globally, according to data from MDAT. This figure climbed to nearly 66,826 fatalities in 2024. Following the COVID-19 pandemic, more detailed reporting systems across Europe have contributed to more accurate tracking of heatwave fatalities, inflating the numbers beyond previous estimates. Senior researcher Damien Delforge of CRED notes that there is often a delay of around 1 year before heatwave-related deaths are fully accounted for, with underreporting continuing to be an issue. Between 2012 and 2021, the world experienced an average of 500,000 heat-related fatalities annually, a 63% increase compared to the cooler decades of the 1990s. However, resilience efforts are beginning to take effect. Nations have invested in early warning systems, infrastructure improvements, and emergency protocols, transforming potential disasters into manageable challenges. These efforts have helped reduce the number of lives lost, particularly in areas more prone to extreme weather. Between 2015 and 2025, storm-related fatalities totaled 36,652 in the same period, compared to 184,237 deaths in the decade prior. Despite these positive trends, experts caution that the threat of climate-driven disasters remains ever-present. Tobias Grimm of Munich re-highlighted the importance of early warning systems, which have provided invaluable time, to protect lives against storm and flood risks. Assessing annual mortality trends from natural disasters remains challenging, as individual catastrophic events can cause sharp spikes in fatalities. Munich Re reported that deaths from floods, storms, wildfires, and earthquakes totaled 17,200 last year, higher than the 11,000 deaths recorded in 2024. This increase was largely due to significant earthquakes in Myanmar and Afghanistan. However, the figure was still below the 10-year average of 17,800 deaths and the 30-year average of 41,900. It is important to note that these numbers do not include droughts or heat waves, which are significant contributors to the overall disaster toll. While mortality rates from natural disasters appear to have stabilized or even decreased in some areas, Romanello points out that the frequency of extreme events with limited recovery time could strain existing resilience efforts. The cumulative impact of consecutive disasters may challenge the long-term effectiveness of infrastructure improvements and preparedness measures. As the climate crisis continues to intensify, nations must remain vigilant in their efforts to reduce fatalities and adapt to an increasingly volatile future.
Origo News.